This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Warning, the following broadcast contains adult language, adult content, frank safety discussions, and stories that might sound unbelievable. But believe me, every one of those stories is true. We didn't start the safety war, but we are going to fight to win it. For our families, for our communities, for our workplaces, and for our lives. Coming up to episode 100 here in a couple of weeks. What are we going to talk about today? Are we running out of topics? No, there's no shortage of topics in safety. And even when we run out, we redo them anyway. Fear. There's a lot of fear out there. Fear is perhaps our greatest enemy in the safety world. Last week we were talking about why people don't speak up, and I think I had a little bit more time to think about this, and it's all about fear. Fear could be a good thing, fear could be a bad thing. Fear is fear. Franklin Delano Roosevelt said there's nothing to fear but fear itself, and there's a lot of truth in that. Fear is good because, hey, I'm afraid of falling, so I'm going to wear fall protection. I'm afraid of not getting hurt. I'm afraid of losing money. I'm afraid of a lot of things. And fear is a very good governor of trying to prevent bad things from happening. But fear can also prevent good things from happening. In life, hey, you're afraid of approaching someone to try to initiate some type of romantic relationship, and you lose out on things. That's fear. You have a fear of taking risks that could turn into some real good success. You have a fear of all different types of things out there. And fear is also what prevents people from speaking up. It prevents people from confronting their coworkers, or maybe that's a strong word, but at least discussing with coworkers safety and how to keep our workplaces safe. So you're afraid to tell someone or discuss with someone, hey, you don't have your hard hat on if you're on a construction job. No, I get this all the time. Well, I'm not the boss. Well, you're his coworker or her coworker. You've been working with them, for them, what have you, for years. You want us to really see them potentially get hurt, put themselves at risk unnecessarily? Unnecessary risk? Risk doesn't make sense. I'm not getting to it's not the blame the worker or blame the person type of thing, but this avert fear of things really gets to you. I get this all the time from safety professionals. Well, I'm afraid to say something. I'm afraid to say something. They're going to think it's a stupid idea. Well, guess what? If you're working in a place where you're discouraged from discussing things because of what have you, fear gets injected in this, that's a bad thing. We learned back in our early episodes, I think it was episode 3 or 4, where we talked about pushback with that safety professionals get. There's this whole idea of fear and letting your imagination do something. All right, so for example, the threat, there's Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, the threat is worse than the actual thing. So if someone threatens you, well, this is going to happen, bad things are going to happen if you do X, Y, and Z, well, think about it. Will the bad things really happen? And I'm going to tell you, usually the bad things aren't so bad. Sometimes a manager wants you to speak up because they don't have to speak up, and it might give them a reason to pursue something. Hey, safety said X, Y, and Z, maybe we should pursue, maybe we need to look at it, maybe. So, embrace your fear sometimes, own your fear. Realize it's there, but don't let fear get in the way of fighting that safety war. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel. Are you tired of hiring safety consultants and safety professionals that don't have any passion for what they're doing? How about those who have never worked in the field or done the dirty work? Is there resistance to taking safety training because the training is boring, irrelevant, and unengaging? Are your employees playing a teen, college student, or someone on the dark web to take the online safety training for them? Look no further. Safety Wars can come to your facility or do most of the training you need through an online platform at times convenient for you. For more information, call me, Jim Polzel, your Safety Wars host, at 845-694-4170. Or you can email me at jim@safetywars.com. Remember, if you've heard this transmission, You are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.